Today I'm increasing the weight on a couple of exercises, starting off with the loaded jumps. In here I have two 5 kilo dumbbells and I'm still aiming at 5 repetitions per set. What I'm looking at is the angle of my thighs upon landing. I felt like it was a bit more challenging than the 4 kilos, and when I'm looking at it, it looks like I probably lost a couple of degrees on the jumps with 4 kilos. Of course, it's a rough estimation. I cannot really see exactly what the difference is, but it does look like the legs on landing are not as straight as with the 4 kilo dumbbells. And in here, I was moving into some upper body work. Finally increased the weighted push-ups up to an extra 20 kilos. And in here, I was going way down in repetitions. The first set, and actually the second one also, I was only doing 6 reps. And they all felt challenging, especially the last one on both sets. I might have had an extra one on the first one, but the second set, it was definitely the last repetition that I had with good technique. First impressions were good. I definitely felt a jumping weight, so I don't think I will be progressing towards sets of 10 anytime soon, let alone adding a third set to that. But I'm not in a rush. At the end of the day, what's important is that I do not feel any discomfort while doing these reps, and having increased the load without experiencing any sort of pain while doing these heavy repetitions gives me a good feeling and hope that I will be able to progress slowly and safely. Also, I stayed with the 5 kilo med ball on the slams. I'm thinking that because I'm trying to get each repetition to be as explosive as possible, up to 10, it's probably a very long set. By the 7th or 8th, I feel like my shoulders are contributing way less than my lower body, my hip flexors, trying to really pull my torso towards the floor. I mean, I don't really feel it in the hip flexors. If anything, I'm feeling it more in the back of the leg. But reasonably speaking, it must be those hip flexor muscles that really pull the torso towards the knees, in the same way that when I'm doing knee raises or leg raises, they're kind of elevating the leg towards the torso. Not that it really matters, it just popped into my head. And I lost the opportunity to talk about the second set of the weighted push-ups. But as I mentioned briefly earlier, the 6th rep was definitely the last one that I had with good technique. After that, I thought that it would have put too much strain, definitely on the rotator cuff, not much on the chest, even though I'm feeling like a good stretch at the bottom and like it's engaging as I am pushing upwards. It's just that the first set, I probably had a 7th one. In the second one, I probably made a good choice in staying at 6. Especially because it was the first time since going up in weight, so it's better to stay as safe as possible. If anything, I would like to have the first set where it's the one that I'm pushing things a bit more. So if next time I feel like I can do 7 and maybe I have an 8th one, I will go for 8 then and stay at 6 for the second set just to be on the safe side. And after low raises, where I was going for straight sets instead of drop setting eccentrics like I've been doing in the last few weeks, just for a change, it was time for the approach jumps. Again, on a left-right approach, because right foot, as I've been saying, is not really feeling that great. In here, I was trying something different, slightly different at least, and I noticed that I was finally able to break the 710 millisecond with 2 jumps in a row at the end of the first set. This is really good, and I have been extra strict in measuring my air time. Not that my measurements are very precise, but I've always been running things down. I think there was last week or a couple of weeks ago where in a session I had a couple of jumps that were probably above 710 milliseconds, but I just kept them down simply because I wanted to be very sure that I had gone above what's been my top airtime for quite some time now. And what I've been doing to get this, not that it's a great achievement, but it's a small change, was to constantly think about running through the penultimate step. What I've been doing up until now was kind of using it as a half block step. So that was already decelerating. And by the time the last step came in, I was probably losing a lot of acceleration and momentum. So in here, I was really focusing on really running through the penultimate step and punching it into the floor with the last one. And I got a little something to show for it. It's not much, but it is something. Now I just need to keep going with it and see where it takes me. Hopefully it's a good discovery. Ciao.